work hours for the bank protection is like 7 in the morning till 6 at night. A little bit different from the hours on the slurry wall. But most of the work, we won't have a lot of trucks coming in with the rock material, except on the site floor, which is continuing here. So we just more subsoil delivery and bringing in the plant. All of that work hopefully will be done this year. Across the river, Site 5, which is between Tower and Lodge again. You may have seen some work done early this year in February and March. They're going to come back there again this summer and put in vegetation. So there'll be some activity over there again this summer, probably in the August, September, and October timeframe. Other than that, that's about all for the bank protection. Is there any questions specific to that? I can take them out.
Yeah, I have a question I'd like to ask on the bank protection. The section you have here doesn't quite show, I realize that you have cross-section of the whole thing, but down where I'm at, which is about halfway between here and the freeway down here, there's a bench in there, quite a wide bench.
Yes.
Okay, when they put slope protection in, they came up to where that bench is, but there's no slope protection between there and the top of the levee, which is another 30, 40 feet. Now, in 1976, when the flood was here, the water was within about 5 foot of the top of the levee. If the water flows now above where they put the rock in now, what stabilizes that sand that's there, which is that what these levees are made out of, dirty sand? What keeps it from eroding that portion of the levee? I'd be curious on that.
Well, most of the erosion at that site is down at the lower foundation where you get higher velocity through there. And because of the water coming around the bend there by Paradise Beach, erodes the toe out, destabilizes the toe, and it begins to fall in. Once you put the rock in there and the vegetation, you've covered the high velocity area, and you don't have as significant velocity up on the bank of the lake. On the bank, you have the grasses and other things on that slope which help protect the erosion there.
Both sides of that, they had run the rock there up to the top. There's been an earlier one done on both sides, a later one, which was done, well, I don't know, it's probably about 72 or so. Down here, the big ridge, they run the riprap all the way up.
Yes, but they didn't have the big white bench at the top.
No, they didn't have the, that's true.
So they just, at that point, they ran it all the way up to the top. Fixed at that time. Since then, if you take a look at the brochure, there's a process what it looked like when it was all done. They modified their design a little bit and taken a little more look at where they need the rock and where they don't necessarily need the rock. Yeah.
Are they going to fence off this the area around Paradise Beach? Are they going to fence off the whole area like they did before, or not? Will they let people walk through there where they're working? That's the question.
When the bank protection revegetation contractor is back in there again, he will, I believe, fence it off like he did last year by fencing off the top of the levee, roadways, and coming through for his truck route. Again, when the slurry wall contractor comes in, he will fence all the way down to the bottom of the toe, and again, people will not be able to access that area when you're working on the slurry wall.
So we going to have access to Paradise Beach then?
You'll have access as long as the contractor is not working directly in front of the crossing over the levee there. But when he's got the trench open, 3 feet wide and all kinds of equipment around, no, he won't be able to access that. He may be done such that you can get in from one to the other end, but you can't go directly over the levee when he's working.
At any particular point in the levee, from the time they start and until the time they finish that section of the levee and move on somewhere else, what's the length of time approximately? That's
Well, 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I mean, they move at about the rate of about 60 feet per day, and typically they would have in this type of wall, it's a 70-foot deep wall. We probably have 400 or 500 feet of drain over it at one time. So as they moves along, we're talking about probably 60 feet, 500 feet, 2 weeks or so.
Then he's got to lower the levee.
And then he also,
do the work,
right, then he also has
and
to
then
let,
raise it back up again.
he also has to let the walls, set for about 3 to 5 days or so before he can cover it, with, permeable material at the top. And so, it'd be probably 3 weeks, it'd probably be before he'd be completely through there.
In the completed project, is
They
it
told us the last meeting about 6 months ago that on Howe Avenue, they're 3 feet shorter than we are on this side. And they were gonna raise that 3 feet all the way on Howe Avenue, that true wall.
is the
And
profile
then
of
they
the
said they only
thing
have
there now?
$50 and they need $10 million for the
The
project.
air conditioning there now,
Okay.
on both sides.
The levee raising was a portion of the,
They were
What
gonna
about
match both
fairground
sides
side? What about the
together.
fairground side?
that was a portion of the request that our board made back in Congress. That is
The improvements to be placed on the river side of that levee to get more space there.
well, to do that, you have to shift the whole levee over.
But, or you can just build out further towards the river.
Right, we're not quite.
Be able to get the levee back up, or do you build the levee back up as you go?
Contract. So I'm sure the Corps will be pushing him to sequence his operations. When he's done with an area that's been degraded, has the wall put in, and then it's done hauling back and forth through that area, he's got to take material from other areas, so economically it's better to take material that you're lowering the levee and put it back over here, so you're not double handling material. I'm sure the Corps will work with him to make sure that he moves along in a sequence so that he doesn't have the whole levee low and have to rebuild it, under emergency conditions. Part of the contract, I believe, is that given I think it's like 36 hours, 24-hour time frame, he has to be able to mobilize enough equipment to bring the levee back up to pre-project conditions. So if he can't do that and leave everything low at the same time.
With regard to that 87 repair, do you still feel the wall is necessary at that point?
Yes,
And they came back and put some rock there.
the rock only addresses the erosion of the toe of the foundation. The slurry wall going through the levee addresses the seepage coming through the levee.
The vibrator instead of using the vibrator. That's the question I want to know. It also doesn't seem logical. We know that the vibrator compactor will shake and cause damage to masonry structures. Why, after putting this wall in, and you don't want to drive over it, you want to get it filled up, why would you use a vibrator compactor anyway? Because that really raises the chances of putting cracks in the slurry wall that you're just doing. It seems like it would be in your specs to use just a plain non-vibrating compactor if you wanted to protect the work you just were doing.
We'll look into that issue, okay?
How do you stabilize the levee when you build it back up? What's the story to that? How does it stabilize the top of the levee so it won't flop off?
It is compacted by mechanical means. It's put back, it's probably put back tighter than it is right now. It is compacted. It's just not dumped and left. It is compacted to fairly tight compaction. And then you put another rock roadway surface on the top, and then you hydroseed both sides so that you have some erosion.
Would you do me a favor and explain to the people, I use some some technical terms. Maybe a lot of people don't understand what I mean with a sheep's foot end compared to a vibrator compactor. They probably think I'm just talking about something they don't understand. Would you explain to them what I'm talking about?
Where is the staging area going to be where the soil will be mixed with the bentonite?
There's a staging area identified to be laid down at Paradise Beach area, bench that's there. There are several staging areas through the length of the project. It's not just one location. Some identified, I believe, the kind of triangle area between the landfill and the railroad and the highway. That's also a staging area through there. contractor's given the benches at the toe of the large section of the levee to work. He kind of moves his whole plan along with them as he goes along and works the various stages.
With all due respect, sir, Greg brought up very good points for protection on the top of the levee. I've had insurance erosion in the back of my home, about probably halfway from the and I call the river, the American River Money People, and they have these things are really appreciated. And this has been a very nasty situation in April because of the rain that was taking place. And it did come out in February, and they did a great job putting a layer of dirt, and we promised them that we could add everything to the bottom of the make sure that there was no erosion. Long story short, there was a major erosion. We had to do a lot of digging out, still probably have to put a path behind our fence, which is causing pressure on that. So, and we got, we were at the time we were installing the pool, and they were actually laughing at the fellow that was on the backhoe because of the compaction that he was supposed to be doing. He wasn't good at what he was doing. Why do we have the best people as far as our levee control? What kind of guarantee do we know or do we have that's going to make a perfect levee? We're concerned. And we're not really getting answers for that.
But as far as what American River did last year, I think that Chad addressed that.
Did you repeat the question? Did you
That's the surface erosion on the levee behind their house. And we went back in February when it was occurring, and I believe American River tried to do some work then to try to minimize it at that time. That is one of the problems with working with urban levees, that you need to maintain vegetation and you need to work on them at the time that it is happening. And you come back later and try and fix it, certainly dry weather, as best you can. That's part of the ongoing maintenance issue
There's been no ongoing maintenance.
that American River is trying to address. That'll be part of the instruction.
John, I think that would be a good time to transition into